Today I'm going to show you how to muzzle train a dog. So Bella has never had a muzzle on. This is going to be the first time that she does anything like this. The brand that I'm using is Baskerville. This is a size 4. Bella knows touch, so she touches objects with her nose. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell her touch. She makes an effort to touch the muzzle. She gets food. Touch. Yes, good touch. Touch. So any little effort or interaction that she does to this muzzle, I'm going to be rewarding. Good. Now she's touch. Good. Now she's figuring out what I want from her. Touch. Yes. Good girl. Touch. Good girl. Touch. Good. Yes. Good girl. Yes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be strategic about how I place my food in the muzzle because I'm going to start guiding her nose into the muzzle. So I'm going to have a little handful of food. The inside of the muzzle, there's going to be a bigger cavity on top and a bigger cavity on the bottom right here. This is going to be your golden spot with placing food. So I'm going to have my food and I'm going to place it in that little area there. She's basically just going to lick this out of my hand. Food's in that small spot. Yes, and she licks the food out. So now we're teaching her to kind of guide her nose in. If the dog stays there like that, you're definitely going to be rewarding it. Food goes into that smaller cavity at the bottom. Good. Good girl. And if the dog backs out right away, that's fine. So if we take this off, that's not a big deal. We're not trying to put the muzzle on yet. I'm just putting food in and getting her used to eating out of the muzzle, getting her used to feeling what the muzzle feels like when it's on. Good girl. Yes, good girl. She's really pushing my hand down. I'm just trying to keep my hand flat. I'm not actually like putting treats in this way. Oops. Putting treats in like this with my fingers. It's a lot easier. Just keep your hand flat. Again, food goes in here. Yes. Good girl. A little bit more kibble there. She's just trying to get it out with her tongue. Beautiful job. So now I'm going to actually start the process of clipping the muzzle on. Now I'm not just going to go right away start clipping it on her. I'm going to get her desensitized to the sound of these plastic things hitting each other. These little plastic things where they connect is right behind her ear. Food goes in. Nose goes in. Good girl. Messing with the straps here on the side. I'm not clipping them in place. I'm just hitting them together. Break. When I'm doing this type of work, I don't reward the dog when the muzzle comes off. All she's learning right now is she gets a lot more food when the muzzle's on. So food's in, nose goes in. Good. Yes, good. Good. I'm just messing with these straps here so she gets comfortable with that. Nose goes in. Good girl. Good. So let's work on just having her hold duration here. I'm going to put a few pieces in. I'm going to have food ready. Yes. She ate all the food. Yes. Good. So I'm just waiting for her to run out of food for a sec and then kind of look at me like, hey, is there more coming? And that's what I'm rewarding. Yes. Good. This is how you work duration with keeping the muzzle on. Yes. Good. And again, I would try to get up to maybe 10 seconds without food before you could start clipping this thing on. Because if you're by yourself, it's really, really hard to clip the muzzle on and have hands on food. If you have a second person, you can be feeding her while the muzzle gets clipped on. But if you don't have that second person, you'll be really working on duration. Good. So we'll start counting now. Good. 1, 2. Yes. Nose is in. Here you go. Now we'll try for 3 seconds. She ran out of food. 1, 2, 3. Yes. Now you don't have to count out loud. I'm just showing you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So she's kind of just waiting for that yes cue because that's how she knows she gets fed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And again, we're working up to 10 seconds here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Good. So I'm just delaying food. You delay the reward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Good. Now I'll go ahead and I'll try to actually clip stuff on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My goodness, I can't get this in. 9, 10. I'm doing lots and lots of constant rewards and food. Comes off. Beautiful. So that's why duration is important. She's going to paw at it. She's going to be like, I don't like this thing on my face. Now we go to constant rewarding again. Yes, good girl. Good. Now, if you're not afraid of your dog biting you, so you could stick your fingers in here, that's fine. In this situation, I'm not worried about her actually biting me, but if you are afraid of the dog biting you, then I would always feed the dog with a flat hand. Leave it on for maybe a few seconds, and this is where I'd start setting a timer and start working up to keeping the muzzle on for longer and longer periods of time. Start with 1 to 2 minutes, and then move into 3 to 4 minutes, 5 to 6, however long you think you might need to keep your dog muzzled for whatever interaction you're doing. Some people do this for grooming. If your dog's hurt and you're afraid of the dog spinning around and biting you when you're tending to a wound, if you're going to take your dog out and you're worried about your dog biting somebody or biting another dog, you are going to keep the muzzle on in the house for as long as you think that interaction might be. The walk maybe is 20 minutes or 30 minutes long, so that's how long the muzzle will be on for the dog. That being said, there's very specific types of muzzles that you want to be looking for training purposes. Always look for muzzles that have airflow. Like this one, it's basically just like a cage. There's a bunch of openings. She could still stick her tongue out. She could still pant. Dogs cool themselves off by panting, so you want to make sure that your dog is not going to overheat in a muzzle. You start moving into having your dog walk around. So if you feel like your dog's going to freeze up and not walk, put your dog on a leash. We're going to start working on having her follow me around. So break. Break. Yes. Good. Sit. Good. Sit. Break. Let's go this way. Yes. Okay. You got it off. 1 second. Move back a second. Good girl. Good girl. Break. Good. Break. Good. Good. Sit. Down. Let's. Down. Good. Break. Good girl. Now she's had this on for probably about 5 minutes now. We're just gonna take it off, and then maybe in about an hour you do this all over again. You do the steps from step 1 that we started at the very beginning, which is just the interaction. We don't want the dog to feel trapped when the muzzle is on, especially at the beginning. So she got it off. I put it on super loose on purpose. It's not like one of those safety hazard interactions where I need to make sure it stays on because we're gonna do something that she may not like. Take your time with this. This can be done over the span of days. So the first day you could work on interaction with the muzzle. The second day you could work on having them stick their nose into the muzzle. The third day you can work on actually having these 2 plastic pieces touching each other so they get used to that sound. And then the actual, maybe the 4th or 5th day, that's when you can start clipping the muzzle into place.